This is absolutely perfect for the San Antonio Spurs, as they have shown an interest in Guerschon Yabusele, the Frenchman who during the Olympics last year made a name for himself, remade a name for himself, and now he's a free agent and would be a perfect addition to this San Antonio Spurs team. And we are going to discuss here why that would be here on Spurs Digest with your host Keenan Warner. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment by hitting that free subscribe button down low so you don't miss all the great content that me, Josh, and Brian have for you. But let's get right underway. The Spurs are expected to show interest in Guerschon Yabusele. This is per Mike A. Scotto. Guerschon was someone who last year, coming off of the Olympics, his hype grew to higher than it ever had been for his sake due to the fact that he had played super well during the last few games of France's Olympic run, especially in that almost a national championship game. What is it? College, Keenan. Especially in that Olympic gold medal game against the United States. But Michael Scotto reported that around the league sources that the San Antonio Spurs are expected to show interest in Yabusele. That's fantastic news to me, and Spurs Nation should be all excited if they add this player. Yabusele is an unrestricted free agent in search of his next NBA home. It is a good thing the 210 has expanded rapidly because there are plenty of places for him to live. And the thing about Yabusele is exactly what we do need. I had just done a video about it'd be phenomenal to get Bam Adebayo. The likelihood of the Spurs going out there and actually going to make that splash move isn't always likely. We know that the Spurs do not like to go throw a bunch at assets to try to get that. They'll want to get deals that are really advantageous for them. But someone like Guerschon Yabusele, he already has the Wemby connection. That's already a check. We know how great San Antonio is with international players. We know how well they've done through their entirety of their franchise with international players. That's a check. Obviously, you have the nice weather, the no state income tax when it comes to that stuff. That's a check. But then last but not least, the fit is so perfect. He can come in, he can stretch the floor, but also plays a big. He plays a true four. So at a true four, you have a guy who could play right next to Wemby in lineups. You have a guy who can actually, in a very small ball five, because of the size that he does possess, depending on the lineups that you're facing, he can also play a five, but really he's just going to play a four. I mean, last year he did very well for the Philadelphia 76ers. 11 points, 6 rebounds a game, shot 38% from three, showed to be a knockdown three-point shooter, especially when left open, 50% from the floor, about a steal per game, 2 assists, so he can make plays off of what he needs to. Obviously not the greatest of playmakers, but can make plays, and he's 6'8", and we know big body, athletic. He is a guy who you could really utilize at that 3, 4, 5, depending on what kind of lineups you want to throw out there, and depends on what kind of players you are playing against. Like someone like against the Rockets, when you have a Sengun, you could put Yabusele on him to give him physical problems, and then have Wemby range over. It gives Wemby the ability to range much more with Yabusele on the floor than without him. So I love this, but San Antonio needs to add to their front court. As we all know, no secret, hope Zach Collins would finally get it together, but he didn't. Charles Bassey was injured last year. Despite that, they didn't play Mamu very much, and even when they did, it wasn't like a really backup center kind of thing, and Mamu's not really the greatest of backup centers. He can stretch the floor. You like him in spot minutes, but he's not going to be a guy you want to really rely on to 18 to 22 minutes per night at that backup big position. But Yabusele is. You can put the X6er on the floor as a lone center in situational lineups, as I just spoke on. He'll thrive in that role. He backed up Embiid last year. The process ended up missing so much time last year. Guerschon ended up starting a bunch of games, and he proved that he could hold his own. I mean, this is a guy who was in the NBA before, played with Boston, really didn't find his niche, then went back overseas, and then really showed out during the Olympics, which is why the Olympics are so great. You have have a chance to put yourself on the map, and he was the person who raised his stock higher than anybody else throughout the entirety of that tournament, and it showed by him going to the NBA, him being a highly touted free agent coming over from overseas, and then him putting up 11 points and 6 rebounds. I mean, that's not slouch numbers at all. But the 6'8" Frenchman may be lacking height, but he's not lacking heart. And obviously, if Draymond Green, we've seen him at 6'7", even though people really list him 6'6", 6'5" height-wise. If he can play center in today's NBA, there's no reason why Guerschon can't do it in stints. And we all saw that during Team France's run in the Summer Olympics, whether it was explosive poster on LeBron or his big-time shot making. The former Celtic proved he can rise to the occasion when the stakes are high, and that earned him a spot back in the league. The Spurs are going to need that as they seriously challenge for home court advantage in the playoffs. This really doesn't have to be the slow burn that some think it will be. San Antonio can leapfrog a bunch of teams if they handle their offseason right. Wemby has that kind of year, and he should be based on what he projects to be. Wemby could be a top 5 player by the end of this year, realistically, and we know that. He is just that talented. Obviously, him going out last year towards the back half just stunts the development a little bit, and you wonder how he's going to come into this season, if he's going to be 100% healthy, if any of the blood clots or anything is going to be a long-lasting problem, or if it was kind of a freak thing that he took care of, took the time that he needed to, and he moved on from it. But, I mean, if you have a guy who is top 5 potential in the league, and then you have a true second star, and then you've got Stephon Castle, who is already emerging as a true third star, and then you've got Dylan Harper, who is going to be one of the most promising rookies in this class. I understand Cooper Flagg is there, and Cooper Flagg truly is going to be the favorite for Rookie of the Year, and he should well be. But depending on what this roster looks like, don't count out Dylan Harper for sneaking up into that position. I know he might not be in the most advantageous position when it comes to just putting up counting numbers, but what he's going to be is in the right situation to go put up points, rebounds, assists, and make an impact on winning, which is what's going to happen in San Antonio. We could really leapfrog the 7, 8, 9, 10 and get to that really 5 or 4. 48 wins, 50 wins is not out of the realm of possibility with this team. We could definitely see it. And we know Yabusele, he's a good player, and the Silver and Black need to stockpile those right now. Free agency starts June 30th. I mean, the draft's on the 25th. That's on Wednesday in a couple days. The Spurs can begin negotiation with players at that time. Hopefully the report from Scotto is on the money and they go get him. I think they should. I think they will definitely make a run at him. It also depends on what they want to do draft-wise and trade-wise, because if they do trade Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, a couple others, you can get Yabusele at like $6 million. That is a cheap deal for someone who can actually make an impact. Obviously, a guy like Naz Reid and players like that are going to be in free agency, but they're going to be asking 15, 18, 20+ million on the market. You get a guy like Yabusele in there for 6, 8, even you can stretch it up to 10 million, and you can talk yourself into, okay, I can give you 2 years, $10 million worth, something off that kind of deal, because it's not going to be like it's not worth it. And he is a player who is going to earn that contract. He has a rapport with Wemby. He has a rapport kind of with how the Spurs do things in the Spurs organization, and he proved himself last year that he could be a true rotational piece in the NBA. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. Do you think that he is perfect for this roster, or do you think there are other bigs that would be better this offseason that we could grab in free agency, or just hit again with the 2nd, the 14th, and I think the 38th pick in the 2nd round, and maybe getting a big there and not even needing to go the route of signing somebody? What do you guys think about that? I would love to know. Again, this has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be seeing all of you guys very soon.